Hello. Okay, so I have another way to share, and I was like, I need to record this. I need to record this. I was like, okay, the key thing is Job, after he was restored, it said he lived to an old age, satisfied of days. Like he was whole and complete and satisfied of days. And I realized, like, I was like, Father, I find the value and the enjoyment and the delight and the pleasure in hearing other people's testimony, especially when he's taken me to different parts of the world. And it was like, I've asked questions and I've gone to churches and I've been looking for the others who can resonate and connect within the soul where they've experienced Abba deep into their soul and their heart and their spirit and they're in love with him. People who are in love with him, and as this testimony I was listening to, they said, I have a heart for him, who really do, and you can sense it in the ruach of like they have a heart for him, and it's not a facade, and it's not about chasing something and about accolades and stuff like that, and it's not about chasing the things that become futile. Like I understand you, and what it was you've grown in maturity, grown in the love of the Father. It says those who haven't become, who fear have not yet been made perfect in love, but to be perfect in love and to cast out all that fear. And there's a maturity there, and there's a knowing and like an accounting. And earlier I was saying, like, I don't mean to be harsh. At times I'm not gonna pull back. I'm gonna be raw about it. Basically, I'm going to be raw about it because it's in my heart and it's in my soul, and I'll try to explain it to the best of my ability. But I was like earlier, it was like that a conversation I was having, and I was just like, when you've experienced Abba and you encounter him, or when you are in love with him, not the idea of him, not just the idea of Christ, and not just the idea of being saved or not going to hell or not making mistakes or messing up, but you've encountered him. You have a real relationship with him. He's really in your heart. He's really in your soul. He has pierced the core of your soul. And you've been made whole. You've been made complete. You know his righteousness. It's like, even if you only had one encounter, those one encounters where you're like, I know Abba is real. And it might have been because he blessed you, but not that you're just hoping on a ring and a prayer. And you're not just walking in the life of belief because you're like, I'm here because God blesses me. He just covers me and he keeps me. And it's not that you're seeking the blessings, but that you are whole and complete in your soul and your field. And it's like when you know him. And that's why I was like, I get it. I've gotten ticked off at times where it's just like when my soul and my heart and my root and the ruach is in me, and the ruach of Elohim, it's felt insulted that people like. That's why I'm like, how can they just? Abba is not a liar, and then you feel it to your soul because you're like, I know him and I've experienced him and I'm one with him and I am in love with him, to know that you are not going to sit here and lie to Elohim. You're not going to lie on me to Elohim about Elohim. You're not going to sit here and tell me Elohim is not real. You're not going to tell me Elohim is not real. And you feel that deep into the core, into your soul, deep within you. You're one with him. You're in love with him. And you're like, I know him. I know what I've experienced with him. I know what I've encountered in him. And there's no way. And your heart is on fire. You feel the Kodesh fire. You feel his Ruach. And it's not just the feeling, but it's pierced you. His Ruach, his love, his light is to the heart and to the soul. And you're in love with him. And so it's like, for me, it bothers me when other people are like shallow, the exterior. They're the exterior, and it's like it's not that people don't care about the depth of Elohim, but it's maybe some people are timid or have some trepidations about going into that depth. But you're like, you want that depth. You want it, that you don't hunger and thirst anymore, that you know him And it's like when you have those experiences where he has been there for you. The person in the testimony, he was an actor, and he was just like, if I could say anything, it would be that I want you to experience pain and stuff and hardship so much and a struggling to the point where you would just not want anything else anymore. And then the Father show up and really basically like really have a salvation moment to the point where it makes you become in love with the Father, and you're like, you love me and I love you, and that's what I want in me, and that is the good thing. And all of this other stuff falls away and becomes meaningless and futile and nothing. As Solomon, you understand what Solomon was saying when he was like, all this futility, because you are satisfied in him. Your satisfaction is guaranteed all the time, content and needing nothing, as he says. You need for nothing, you want for nothing. You are whole and complete. And it's like those other things that seem to be so magnified become insignificant. It's like comparing to when you were 6 years old and you wanted a little toy to when you are 46 and you're like, that's insignificant to me now. But what is insignificant? That pierce, that whole, that light, that fullness, the wholeness, the satisfaction in your soul, the deep longing fulfilled, the laughter, the joy, the peace fulfilled in your soul, through your heart into your soul. And it's deep and wide and high, and it's inexhaustible. It's inexhaustible. And it's like, that is what my heart yearns, and my prayer was for Father's people. That's what I prayed years ago, because when I prayed that for myself and he gave me that encounter with him, and that's not the only one, but like he did it in such a time of where I grieved and lost, and the moments where you have those, like your breath is taken away, you don't know how you make it another day, through mourning and loss and grief, but Yah being there, and not even just in that moment, in that time, but all throughout life. It was like no matter where he took me, and even I was looking for the examples of him in people, like to see, like, I guess and now I know of a heart on fire for him, a soul on fire for him, and I would meet certain people, but it's just like I don't see it as often today. I didn't see it as often when I went to certain churches and different things like that. Yeah, there's warmth, there's kindness, but there's so much more when it's the depth of the heart and the soul. When it is a heart that's on fire, when it's pierced in through the soul, deep down in your soul. And it's like, I want that personally for people, not wanting something for myself, but desire that for people. And I know that their experience is not going to be the same as mine, but it's like, it's nothing comparable to that. It's nothing comparable to that richness. It's nothing comparable to that wealth and to that abundance. It's nothing comparable when you recognize a kinship in the soul and in the heart with other believers who have it deep down in their soul. That joy, that peace, the love of the Father, the love of the Son, the love of the Ruach deep down in their soul is different than the shallow waters and the surface stuff and the twinkly things and the pretty things and just niceness or a facade or the fakeness or but real, even if you're raw and you're real, is soft and sweet. But down in the soul, there's like a difference. There's a difference, and it's like, and when you see in the spirit, or when you're walking about, or you're going to churches, or you're meeting up with believers, and it's like, and that's not there. That's not there in their heart and soul. And you're just like, the greatest thing, it's like the greatest gift of all. It's the greatest blessing of all. And you just like, want people to experience that greatest blessing. You want other people to experience the greatest blessing of Messiah, of Elohim, of the Son and the Father and His Spirit. You want them to know Him. And so because whenever anything comes, it is unquenchable. It is sustaining. It is, even when you need a refresher, it is like, no, you know that Abba is not a liar. Deep down in your soul, you're like, Abba is not a liar and cannot lie. He would never lie to me. He would never do that to me. His word says this is sure, it's true. And there's that knowing of Him, that oneness in Him, that trust in Him, that belief and that completeness and wholeness in Him. It is like, I'm trying to describe it in the magnitude of it, but it's so much greater and so much more infinite. And of course, I pray that for people I've known in the body and still, because that's why it becomes so serious. That's why they're like, why are you so intense? You have a hunger and thirst for righteousness, but the intensity of the love, a ferocious love, an all-encompassing love, a sustaining love, an enduring love. And yes, I'm like animated about it because it's Abba. It's Abba. And it's like, there's not enough words to describe Him and explain Him, but people know. You encounter it, and if you have it, and you will have your own encounters in your own ways. But deep down in my soul, it just was reminding me of that song, deep down in my soul. And that's like love of Yahuwah deep down in my soul. I would, Father, love to see people lit up from the inside. And that's what I mean when I say we bring souls alive. Messiah does, the Ruach does, Elohim does. That's what our desire is, to see for people. So when I do hear these testimonies of people who are like, you know what, I want to see that for people. I want people to be at the feet of Jesus. I don't want their experience. I want them to have the real, the authentic, the pure, the depth, the wholeness, that complete, the light, the on fire inside out. Magnanimous, like the relationship with the Father, that connection, that oneness, that bond, indescribable, unbreakable, unshakable, unmovable, unquenchable, a longing fulfilled, that tree of life, a love so deep, so wide, so high, like you can't compare, there's nothing that compares. But it's so good. It's so good. It really is good. And He was teaching me that there's a difference. I've encountered people who are like, they're more in love. And this is what hurt. This is what saddens my heart and makes me want to cry, honestly, at times. It's like I've encountered people, their spirit is so much more. And this is why I've said things about the feelings. Your little feelings, like, it bothers me and ticks me off, because in the Ruach, you know the difference. And there are people who are so much more in love with their feelings. So much more in love with their feelings. And they're like, oh, you're walking in the flesh. No. When you know Yah, you know Yah. When you have Him in your heart, in your soul, you know it. But I've encountered people who are just like so much more in love with their feelings, or the idea of, as people used to tell me, like, don't romanticize marriage. Don't be in love with the idea of marriage in this rose-colored glasses, but like, or in love with the feel. I just love being with you. Of feeling the feeling of being with you. Don't be in love with the feeling more than like, and not in my soul. I feel it in my soul, but it's He's constantly there. Yah's constantly with you. The Ruach is constantly with you. The soul is constantly there. It's constantly alive. It's constantly alert. It's constantly breathing. It's constantly awake. It's constantly breathing in and out and pulsating and light flowing and water flowing through it. It's constantly alive. Your soul is alive. And you know it, and you're experiencing it, and it's not just the feeling of it. And it's not just in love with that feeling of it, or love feeling the feeling of it. And that's why my heart, like, it makes me want to weep sometimes, because it's like you feel it with other people where it's like it feels like, or it senses like, or it's like the encounters, like they're like more in love with this idea of the feeling of, well, it feels good to be with you. You know, it feels good to be around you. But am I in love with, if I'm equated to my relationship with the Father? Am I in love with the Father? You know, not the idea of the Father, not the idea of being a Christ follower, a Messiah, or I'm not doing it just out of the obligation of your words. I'm not doing it out of the obligation of not being saved. I'm not doing it out of the obligation of, out of fear. I'm not doing it out of worry or anxiety or anxiousness. I'm not doing it to meet some mark or to measure some mark or to be great enough or higher enough or to be made perfect in your image. I'm doing it because I love you. I love you with my heart and my soul, deep down into my soul. I'm in love with you. That's why. But he gave it first. He gave it first. He gave it first. And you don't, and as Messiah said, the book of the Nazarene that I put up there, Messiah says, we don't say, I want to be loved. Rather, I want to love. Because he's already filled you with his love. And you're not going around feeling like you need the love of other people. I've been there. But now you're coming from a stance of you have his love flowing in you and you want to give that to others. You want them to have that as well, be sharers and partakers in that also. You're not trying to take that from other people. You want to give that to them. You want them to go to the Father. You want them to go to the water. You want them to thirst no more. You want them to have the unquenchable, unshakable love, in love with the Father. And I keep saying in love because that's what your soul desires for others. Give that to them too, Father. You gave that to me. Give that to them. Give that to them. Not just a one-time experience, not just a hit, not just a high, but high eternal life. Give that to them. Let them know and taste and see and experience and be one with your goodness. Let them be one with you, knowing. And that's where it's like when the storms come, you're like, who cares about the storm? Because Abba's in you and you're like, he's here. So what about the rest of it? You know, and it's like, even as the day to day when he's like, don't worry about what you're going to wear. Even tomorrow, what you're going to eat or anything, it has its own worries. It's like, then those things become insignificant. It's not that they don't matter and Yah's in every detail, but the eternal and that soul becomes so much more magnified and so much more intense and so much more important and vital. It becomes a goal. It becomes the things that you focus on. The inner man, the womb, man, that you then want to cultivate and nurture and care for and uplift and be a good steward over. You want to partake in the Father's work. Be about your Father's work in love. You're doing it because you love him and you love them and you want them to be a sharer in what he has to offer. Because what he has to offer is unquenchable. It's undefinable. Like, it's more than you can define. It's more than you can fathom. It's more than life itself. It really is. It is so much more than life itself. It's so much more than existence. It's more than presence. It's more than material things. It's so much more. And you're like, I just want everybody to have it. You want to give it to them. And especially when you encounter people and their soul needs it. And you encounter them, that soul needs to be filled. It needs to be quenched. It needs to be replenished. It needs to be know the greater thing, as Messiah would call it. Miryam, between Miryam and Martha in the first experience. She lays here, she knows the greater thing. And you want people to know the greater thing because it really is. It really is. And you're so thankful for the Father, for the blessings and the gifts and the ways He's come through and the healing. And really, if you literally saw Him raise somebody from the dead and save their life and transform them and then renew them and deliver them and wash away all of the hardships and all of the curses of their bloodline and their family and the sins of their forefathers and their own past sins. In the weakness, in the brokenness, in the bondage, in the captivity. Even if you witnessed Him do all of that, it's still like you're thankful, and He reminds you, the Ruach reminds you, but you're also like, in moments when opposition, in hardship, and futility, and anything that's contrary to the Father comes in, you're like, I know my Elohim. I know my Father. I know my salvation. It's like your heart and your soul cries that out, even if you're not saying it. It's like the rocks cry out and nature and the trees clap their hand, even when you're not saying it. Your soul and your heart are singing that tune in the frequency and in the song of heaven, right along with the Father and His Son and His Codex messengers. It is aligned and in sync. It is one. It is one. And there's like, again, you want people to be sharers in that. You don't want anyone, as Messiah says in His word, you want them to have their inheritance. You want them to have that inheritance. There are so many inheritances He gives. And He allows us and invites us to partake in, but that is one of the greatest ones. As a human being, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. My opinion is that is the greatest thing you will ever experience as a human. Not just experience, you would ever that you would ever accept as a gift, as a blessing in your human experience. Far above rubies, far above childbirth, far above marriage, far above a longing fulfilled, a dream fulfilled. Far above anything, that always He is at the throne of your heart and your soul and your mind, and it's in you and it comes out like water. He flows from you like a tree of life, the Ruach. The Ruach. Anyway, each person's experience is their own with Yah, is their own with Messiah, is their own with the Ruach. That was what I prayed for, and Yah gave that to me. But from that flowing from my own heart and mind, in the knowing of what the goodness that Abba did and can do and has done for me. It's not just the goodness, but the life. It's literally about the life that He has given to me. The life deep down in my soul, in my heart. The world can't give it and the world can't take it away. It can't. There is nothing that can take it away. Nothing. and you have him, you have everything. You have everything. Everything. I'm not invalidating all of the other blessings and gifts that he gives us. Children are an inheritance and a blessing. It is a blessing to be called to be married. It is a blessing to be a womb, man, and a helpmeet. It is a blessing and a gift to be a man, a gift to be a child of Elohim, a gift to be called. He's called. Everyone he gives the opportunity, he opens the door. Will you enter? Will you say, I do, and yes to him? He's worth loving. He's more than worth saying you're worth loving. He says that to us. That's why he calls us. It was more than worth it for him to die. He loves us. But it is so worth it to love him in return, to be in love with him. In his eye, because it's like so worth it to love him, it's not a thing to be like, it's so worth it to follow in your way. Even when people think that it doesn't matter if somebody thinks it's foolish or they don't agree or don't understand, because your love for him like overshadows all of that's insignificant. All of that other stuff that's insignificant. All of the other misunderstandings. All of the other futilities. The love, it matters more. It's greater. It's more powerful. It's constant. It's forever. It's eternal. And it's not going anywhere. The oneness with Elohim, the salvation, your Savior, Messiah is not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. He's in love with us. And we're in love with him. We are in love with him. He is in love with us. So I thank you, Father. I thank you for your love. I thank you for your love. There's nothing greater than his love and him. Just not even just the love, but like he is love. But do you know what I mean? Like you can't replace. It's like a being, another person, right? You love them, and it's no one else that they can't. Even if you have twins, if you have triplets, if you have quadruplets, if you have sextuplets, they're not all exactly the same. And no one can replace. I was going to come up with some names 1, 2, or 3. I'm just going to give numbers 1, 2, or 3, or 4. Like you can't replace 4 with. You can still love them and love them mightily, and maybe even a little bit differently, but it's irreplaceable. Irreplaceable. We are that way to the Father. He's that way to us. What he's given us is irreplaceable. There's nothing going to be like it. But it's also that when seasons or different things like that, like if he's given us a gift or he's given us a time, or you have relatives who have transitioned on and maybe they're sleeping with their fathers now, and you have memories and you miss them, they're not replaceable. Even if Abba brings other people and new people in your life, the ones that, they're still loving members of the body that you've loved and will love and still love. That's how it is for the Father. It's not, he's the Father of the living. Even those who are sleeping with their fathers now, they're not, Abba hasn't replaced them in his body. He's still one with them. They're still alive in him. Anyway. Alrighty, I think that's the best that I can explain it. But I had to record that because it's like, I love you, Abba. In love with you, and I thank you. It's a gift to have a heart and soul. It is a gift to be in the land of the living. It is a gift to have life and eternal life. It is a gift. It's a gift. It is a gift. It's a gift. It's a gift to have the love of the Father, to be in love and be in love with the Father. And it not just be the feelings. It not be romanticized. It not be you're in love with the feelings, but it's a gift to be in love with the heart and soul. It is a gift to be in love and with the soul, with the ruach, the spirit, the inner man. The inner man of yourself, the inner man of Elohim, the inner man of Messiah and the Christ, the inner man of the Ruach, and the inner man of your brethren in the body. It is a gift to be in love with the heart and the soul, the true being, the true spirit of a being. That's the love Abba has for us. Not that it's just the exterior and the flesh, but He loves our soul. He loves us heart and soul, spirit and being one. And I love you, Father. I love you in return, and we love you. So peace to you all. Blessings. Thank you, Father, for the resurrection of your Son. Thank you for my soul. Thank you for the remembrance of what you have done. Thank you for the releasing of leaven. Thank you for your love, Abba. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for this day. Thank you for life and high. Thank you for everything you make down to the detail, your creation. Thank you for those things that are, you waste nothing. Even the things that are fleeting, you don't waste them. They come to be like insignificant, but they do have a purpose and a value. But that value, even if it's brass, there it has a purpose and a value. But of course, you are the solid, pure, unrefined, like you are just the most purest gold in value there is, and everything that comes from you is such. And even that greater of that greater eternal thing. So I just thank you. I thank you for the Shemaim here and now and within us, in our heart and our soul. And I thank you for being one with you and one with your love and your perfect and pure love. And as a body, and I thank you for the witnesses of the brethren who connect to the heart of you, yeah. Like you just gave me that witness as an encouragement, because I'm like, without saying the words, I was like, where are those who are in love with you? Where? In love with you. Not the feeling, not the feelings, not the feelings of, I like this person, I feel this person, or they're kind to me, or that, or they didn't, but like in love with you. I've been looking for it because that's why it was bothering me. Like it was like people were caring more about their human self and humanity more than like being in love as believers, being in love with the Father. Like it was like the love of these other things was overshadowing and being more powerful and being exalted higher than love of Elohim. Even as we were talking about the things that are contrary, but they're deep down in my heart and my soul, in his heavenly connection and oneness within me, it was just like, I really just want to, like show, connect me with brothers and sisters, more of them who are in love with you, heart and soul, in love with you, heart and soul, on fire for you, heart and soul, not overshadowed by the world and not blending and mixing the thoughts of the world in with your body, in with your pureness, in with your heart and your soul, but just connecting and resting and tapping into your soul, Father, and within their soul and their being one with yours, and everything else becoming, falling away or being insignificant to that connection with you is the what supersedes that. Everything else becomes like a drop in the bucket when that is what is flowing out of you, feeding you, one with you, fueling you, motivating you, directing you, guiding you, leading you, comforting you, being with you, present with you, breathing upon you. It is more than enough. He used to give me that to say in my other podcast, like Abba is more than enough. And And I thank you for showing that, revealing that, and giving that encounter a personal relationship with so many people that you are truly more than enough, Yah. You are more than enough. More than enough to fill us so that we can give a heart and soul. We've given it to you. Our heart and soul is yours. So you're the one who continues to fill us and keep us whole and complete so that as we are giving from that place, ours is never exhausted. It's inexhaustible. Your constant river of life, your waters of life, your living water is constantly flowing in us. And we are then like, now I want to give life back. You gave me life and I want to give life back into others. You gave me your heart and your soul. I gave you my heart and my soul. And now I want to pour out into others because you're constantly pouring into me. I'm not looking for them to pour into me. I'm looking for you. You pour into me and you're pouring out from me into them so they can then be connected with you. And you're not focusing on what can I take that's what they said in the person who got saved. It wasn't about what they could take anymore and the selfishness but it was now like what they were being given. They were being given that quality time. They were being given that love. They were being given that presence. They were being just given what they needed. They didn't ask for it. Nobody asked them for anything or was trying to take anything or trying to do this or trying to do this. He was like, I was just hanging out and they were giving and I was eating with them and I was replenishing with things I was taking, but like it wasn't a taking situation. It was just take. But and that's what Messiah says. Don't say I want to be loved, but I want to love. Not that I need to be filled because the Father is filling me and I want others to be filled. The Father is giving me heart and soul and life and purity and oneness with Him, and I want others to have that oneness. The Father is pouring into me, and I want Him to pour into others. The Father is like constantly there with me. You know, when they constantly there with others, that they won't even doubt, they won't fear, they won't worry, they won't be second guessing and thinking that futile things are bigger or too hard for the reality, too difficult. That was bothering me too. Like people were like, I was like, why are they acting like anything is too difficult for you when we've experienced you? Once we've experienced you, we know nothing is too difficult for you. Nothing is impossible for you. Nothing is impossible for you. Nothing is too difficult for you. Nothing. We've experienced you to know it. You have increased that belief, but you have been faithful and true. You have been real. You have been raw. You have been honest. You have been authentic. You have been righteous. You have been holy. You have been Kodesh and present and unfailing. Unfailing. Who shall call you a liar? Who shall deny you? Who shall doubt you? Who shall be worried about you being faithful when you were ever faithful? Ever faithful. That's what my heart has been like screaming out in moments, and I haven't said it out, but like, if you know Him and you've experienced Him and you love Him and He's in your heart, and I'm not putting it down that we don't have moments. And this is why I was noticing the moments of opposition where have you ever experienced even those moments where you're like, this isn't me, this isn't my thought, this heaviness that's coming in? Somebody in the body, sometimes you might be contending for your own child and you're like, or your spouse, and you're like, this is not my anxiousness. This is not my worry. This is not of me. This is adversary trying to put a heaviness over you or whatever. And you're like, this isn't even mine. Take that away, yeah. Take it away from them. Cover and keep. Because in your heart and your soul, it's like even in the midst of the storm, there's the knowing. I know Yah's taking us to the other side. I know he's taking us to the other side. You know it in your soul. You know it in your heart. You know him. You know him. And so then when the tempter comes and the temptation comes and then try to tempt through the evil one, that's why he's like, lead us not into temptation and deliver us from the evil one. Because you're like, no. Experience, encounter, relationship with him tells me otherwise. Tells me adversary, the tempter, is a liar and the truth is not in him. Truth, the love of my soul, the lover of my soul tells me he is real and true and righteous and Kodesh, holy, unblameable, undeniable, unshakable, unmovable. He is righteous, Kodesh. So I'm just like, that's what has been getting me riled up. Because it's like, and in my heart, then there's the question, do they know you, Father? Do they have you in their heart? Do they know you through and through to the heart? Are you in them? Do they know you? Do they know you? Are they filled with you? Are they whole and complete and satisfied in you and satisfied and full of days in you? Because all of those other things are not a big thing. It's not a big thing if you don't have the accolades. It's not a big thing. My heart burns in his fire when he's like giving me assignment. And there's a ferocity to do his work or at times to complete it. He puts a ferociousness within me of his love for him and the things of him. The things of him, the things that are on his heart, the things that concern him, the things that he loves and that he's mindful of. He's mindful of man. Mindful of. I'm mindful of the feelings, but again, also that the tweaking of the distortion of not to be in love with the feelings. Don't love loving the feeling more so than you love. You're in love with him and the heart and the soul knows even in a storm. No, I know my El. I know my El. My Elohim, the mighty one, the Kodesh one, the holy one. And he's sure. That is the truth. And that's where that at times it might seem like pride and arrogance, but that is where it's coming. He is sure. Assurance is him, not in self or in man or in things, but it's him. He's unfailing. He's just righteous and right and good and truth and Kodesh. He's holy and he's perfect. There's not even a question of it. He is Elohim. He is Messiah. He is the way and the truth and the light and the life. In your heart and your soul knows it. He knows he's the truth. He knows he's never going to lie. He is truth, and you have that knowing that he's truth. He's real. He's real. He's real. So I rebuke anything that's contrary and not of him. But I thank you, Father. Thank you for your gift. Knowing you as a gift. Loving you as a gift and being loved by you. And loving that, having that in your soul. Even for your people. Even as I said, if it comes out ferocious. I don't want to use that word because that's the word he gave me. Ferocious and intense. And challenging. And refining. And brave and courageous and strong and mighty. and high and exalting Elohim, but it was powerful and authoritative, even when it comes in sure and confident and bold as a lion, mighty and strong. The assurance is that you will draw your children and be there for them and help them and love them and be in love with them and bring them into loving you and keep them in love with you. You will keep them in love with you. In love with you. And it's not according to this is that was my personal prayer for years and my desire. And yes, I would love, like I said, to see my brethren in love with Abba. And I don't mean like see it with my eyes, but spirit, in the Ruach and spirit that they're in love in their heart and soul to the core of their being with Him. So, because it's a blessing and it's a gift for yourself, but it's also the protection, the covering, the keeping. It's the keeping and the maintenance and the sustenance. It's everything you need in your soul, in your heart, and in your inner man. And I pray that people have it, Father, that more people have it and receive it. Have your way above everything I've said and expressed of myself in my heart. Have your way. And peace and blessings, and be well. Abba be with you and keep you. Shalom. Peace. Much barakah. Abba continue to be exalted. I thank you for Messiah, Father, and exalting yourself. I thank you for your righteousness and your holiness. I just thank you. I thank you for, you setting your son apart. I thank you that he made a way and is the way. And you've given us, sometimes people might question, and we might have questioned, why did you fashion the world the way you did? Why did you make the plans the way you did? Why did you orchestrate things the way you did? But in moments like this is always a reminder of because you are good and you always mean well. Like you're always doing good. You can't do anything else but good. You can, Father. You work everything for good. And I just thank you. Shalom. Be well. Peace and blessings. I'll keep you. Of course, there will still be, you'll be real and raw even when you don't like somebody. You don't have to like all people and you don't have to like me. I'm not asking for it. I just ask that you have not just the spark, but the stability. And I understood why that person chose Catholicism. I was like, I think there's a way in their life that they didn't have stability and they needed stability. They needed the discipline because they didn't want to go back to the old ways, the ways that had them empty and void. They wanted to remain transformed and renewed, and they wanted to keep on in the path of the future, in the way, in the light, in the life, and they wanted to keep on the path of righteousness, and they wanted to keep on in the life of repentance. So they didn't want to pick up the old habits. They felt one group of believers, he said they were all accepting. He chose Catholicism and he felt like Christians were too all accepting. And he said, I felt like Judaism, which he grew up in, was, what did he say? He said it was fake to him because all it was him reciting one time and that was it. And then he said that was, what word did he use? Christian was all accepting. Catholicism, he didn't answer, but I think that from what his experience of what he was expressing, there was a discipline and there was a stability that it added, along with the people who he met were just honest and raw. Like they were like, go and sit down and shut up. Like they just explain things plainly. And he said Judaism, it felt fake. And did he say temperate, too temperate, something like that? But anywho, Father, I just thank you for the witnesses. I thank you for the continual encouragement. I thank you for that people are overcoming by the blood of the Lamb and the word of the testimony, us included, me included, and that witness trusting of you is helping to bring others to you. Um, and I just thank you for the lights that have accepted your light on today and every day in Yeshua Mashiach. Come on.